everybody. Welcome to Blitzcast here on the Majors TV. I am Adam Hernandez. With me, as always, Dorf. We got the draft coming up this Thursday night. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right?
Correct.
No more Sundays anymore, which has been the case for like the past...
Well, they started on Thursday for a couple of years, but it used to actually just be in 2 days.
Okay.
And Sunday.
Before we get into our questions tonight, are you a fan of the Thursday, Friday, Saturday format, or do you like the old format of Saturday and Sunday?
I don't mind it. I mean, it allows you to stretch it out over 3 days, and since the first round is going to take 5 hours, you might as well put it up, give it its own day.
Are you a fan of decreasing the time a team has in the first round to pick?
I mean, they did just cut it back like 5 minutes, 1 or 2 years ago. I think it's currently sits at 10. I do believe. I think 10 is the right
Do
amount.
they really need 10 minutes though? Like seriously, I mean, the amount of time that a team has from the combine to
it's not necessarily about teams making decisions. It's fielding out trade offers.
Okay.
That's what that time's for.
All right. I still think they have too much time. Way too much time. I want to get it going. I'm tired of sitting there waiting 10 minutes, and everybody knows who
Captain
these teams are.
impatient here. It's just the draft. It's just once a year. It's just another NFL football holiday, and Captain No Fun here. Can't
telling
stand
me
it.
no fun.
Yeah, Captain No Fun here can't stand to wait.
You're the one that wouldn't wear a leotard in Ann Arbor if Michigan State lost to Michigan a couple years ago.
Well, I'm Captain Takes No Bets.
Captain No Fun. So the NFL is the perfect
Now
league
that
for
you put that in there, I have to defend myself. No, I wouldn't take a preseason bet with our buddy Sean here, who's off camera holding a different camera at us. I wouldn't take a bet with him that he would have to wear a leotard running around the local area here if the University of Michigan lost to Michigan State University. And if I lost, I didn't have to do anything. I still wouldn't do it.
Sean was all up for it.
Sean was all up for it. And he would have had to pay out on that, too. That's the worst part.
Not a couple of years ago when the bet was made.
When the bet was made, Michigan State...
Oh, yeah. Sean would have had... Yes, you're right. Sean would have had to pay up on it. Which I trust that he would have done it, too. Which is scary thought.
Especially because he's got the huge beard.
But let's go ahead and get to our questions tonight. Questions surrounding the NFL draft. I think some of the bigger questions surrounding the NFL draft. First and foremost, Warren Sapp made headlines the other day, over the weekend.
He didn't slap another prostitute, did he?
No, he didn't. And ironically enough, Warren Sapp does not have a job right now. So he did all of this through Adam Schefter. Basically called Myles Garrett lazy. Called him a lazy kid. He said he takes plays off, and he's basically not impressed by him, and he doesn't see why he is the consensus number 1 overall pick, which, in my opinion, he probably should be. Which brings us to the question of Cleveland, and I guess in retrospect a little bit San Francisco, because those are the 1-2 teams there. Are the Browns, first and foremost, stupid to pass on a guy like Myles Garrett?
This would be a slam dunk, absolute dumb move to pass on Myles Garrett if they weren't so quarterback needy. I won't knock them. I won't, criticize them taking a quarterback with a first overall pick, because if you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing in this league. But at the same time, this draft class does not warrant a number 1 overall pick being at the quarterback position. Myles Garrett, in my estimation, Warren Sapp's criticism be damned. I view him as the best pass rusher to come out of college. It's Von Miller. You may call that a lazy comparison because they both went to the same university, both kind of play the same type of game. But, I really, really do think he's that good. And with that being said, it's not like the Browns don't need an edge rusher. And to get one, regardless of where it's at in the draft, I mean, that's an absolute need. That's something you got to get. So Garrett is that good. Fuck Warren Sapp. Garrett is that good.
I guess, and the thing is too you're right. I mean, teams do need quarterbacks. I mean, if you go back through and you look at the teams that have won the Super Bowl or have competed for a Super Bowl, the one thing it seems like they have in common is they have that franchise type of quarterback. And I know the first argument that people are going to bring up is Trent Dilfer with the Baltimore Ravens, which Trent Dilfer is the exception to the rule. Other than that, I mean, teams have quarterbacks that they've relatively drafted high.
Yep.
And
you could argue the only exception really to the high quarterback drafting is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
6th rounder.
Again, exception to the rule though, too. But it seems like the Browns have a quarterback that have 2 quarterbacks on their roster right now that they could roll with, and perhaps look at drafting a guy down the down the board or within in another round.
They have a ton of draft picks this year. They've rightfully stockpiled. I mean, they took a 2 on to take Brock Osweiler. Not to mention they already had 2 ones. So with that being said, I don't think it would be wise for them to take a QB, the number 1 overall pick, but it's not a crying shame to take one from anywhere within their next 5 or 6 picks.
It would seem like the worst idea the Browns could do is waste a pick on a quarterback who they're going to play at day 1.
Yeah. The Browns are not going to compete for a Super Bowl in 2017, regardless of who's under center. They're just not.
They're not even going to compete in
probably
2018.
In 2018 either.
I mean, it's.
But at the same time, the current crop. I'm not taking. There is a couple guys that have that high end potential, but they're not there. Not anywhere close yet. That will be available after number 1 overall. Okay. You're not going to take a guy like that number 1 overall unless, of course, he's ready to go.
All right. Well,
or pretty damn close at least.
Okay. Sticking on this topic, Mitchell Trubisky. He's the guy that everybody is talking about right now. Quarterback out of North Carolina. He's the guy right now that is garnering all the attention. He's the guy that could unseat Myles Garrett as the number 1 overall pick. And if it's not him going to Cleveland, everybody's saying that San Francisco could go ahead and take him as well. Now, Mitchell Trubisky won a 1-year start at North Carolina, put up video game numbers, was like 30 touchdowns, 6
picks.
A shit ton of yardage.
Passer rating in college is a little deceptive, but like 160 passer rating in college, which is really good.
Now, he was a 5-star recruit going into North Carolina.
Very high-end recruit going into North Carolina.
Is he worth taking a look at number 1 and number 2?
I don't think it would be a good idea for the Browns to draft him because Garrett's there on the board. Mm-hmm. I think Garrett, if you want to do the classic NFL cliche of best player available, that's Myles Garrett every day and twice on Sunday. But the 49ers, considering their offseason moves, they're not going to need Trubisky to play in year 1. I mean, you signed 2 veteran journeymen. I mean, Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley, where, you can limp through a season and not have to play him. But if Mitch Trubisky needs to play right away, I'm concerned you're going to have like a David. He's not as talented as most, but he's still serviceable level, potential level NFL quarterback. You're going to Derek Carr. Or David Carr, rather. Not Derek. Derek's good. You're going to David Carr. You're going to get him so shell-shocked, especially considering the offensive lines for both those teams. Cleveland's all right. Cleveland has an okay offensive line, but it's Joe Staley and the Scrubadoras in San Francisco. If you need him to play right away, especially with their lack of receivers, that's a recipe for disaster.
But David Carr got murdered when he was with the Texans. I believe the amount of sacks that he took that year.
The amount of just hits. I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. It's just the amount of hits that man had to take,
It ruined his career.
Yeah.
Sticking with the quarterbacks, who do you think has the highest ceiling amongst the top quarterbacks entering this draft?
Top quarterbacks entering this draft, highest ceiling, I think is going to be Pat Mahomes from Texas Tech. But out of the top 6 or 7, quarterback prospects in the class, he also has the lowest floor. Best arm talent in the class, no doubt. Problems with the He's in the Texas Tech. Shred him and shred him. You know, he has not played. I don't know. Has he ever taken a snap under center in his life? Probably not. So that's my concern. But absolutely, all the arm talent in the world, whether or not he has it between the ears, is yet to be determined. And no one has been a faster riser throughout the draft process than Pat Mahomes. It was one of those. Run pick will be somebody's project too. Dude's probably going to go in the first round now.
So Pat Mahomes, he could be out of the league in a couple of years, or he could be a stud in a couple of years.
Absolutely.
All right. Moving along to the running backs. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of attention right now, too. Is he, in your estimation, a top 10 worthy pick?
No, because no running back is. Not in the current day and age. Christian McCaffrey is not going to be your stereotypical, air fingers quote, every down back. He's not going to be the guy that's going to take 25 carries, catch the ball 4 or 5 times, and then be in the return, also contribute in the return game. He's going to be a 10 reception or 10 targets, 10 rushing attempts and return kicks type guy. That is still a very valuable piece to have.
Versatile as hell.
Very versatile, very valuable piece to have. Great offensive weapon, but is that worth a top 10 investment when you can get in a platoon type scenario, combine that 2 players to get that same thing that you can get in the later rounds? I'm good. I don't know that I would even consider him in the top 10 just for that. Now, talented player. Love to have him on my team. Just
top 20?
In the late teens, I'll start thinking about him.
And on that same note, Leonard Fournette. Is he too much of a system guy, do you think? Does he have to be in the right system in the NFL to succeed? Or is he a guy that do you think you can plug in
I think
anywhere?
He is due for a huge coming back to earth. A lot of what made him successful at LSU is he just ran right through people.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going to be able to do that in the NFL. I know the SEC is the closest you can get to the NFL defensively, but you're not going to be able to do it in the NFL. Everybody's going to be just as fast as you, bigger and stronger. I'm sorry. Yeah, fine player, but he's gonna have to adjust the NFL game. He's not gonna be able to just run through people anymore.
Out of these two guys, who do you think has the better career?
Better career? I think McCaffrey.
McCaffrey,
because you know what, he's let's call it a 3-tool player. Fournette's a 2.5. Now Fournette's first tool, his run game is better than McCaffrey's.
So dirty, and that's so mean what you're saying about these guys.
I'm trying to use the baseball analogy of the baseball 5-tool player. If you want to think about it, running back, he has 3 primary tools. 4th, if you include pass protection. He's Fournette is an above average player and probably let's call it a facet and a half. McCaffrey's above average in 3.
Okay.
But Fournette is a better, if you just compare apples to apples, running ability to running ability. Fournette's a better player, but McCaffrey does more.
So Fournette's probably going to get picked first.
Yes.
Okay. Finally, Reuben Foster. What the hell? Diluted drug sample. What happens to him? Does he? I mean, right now it seems like he could be a top 10 pick. How far does he drop?
I did some more research on this today because another guy that's going to be a first-round prospect, Jabril Peppers, a safety from Michigan, also had diluted sample attached to his name today. So I did some more digging into what that exactly means. That just means that you either were you peed in your cup and squirted some water in it, or you were just super hydrated. And you know what? Arguably, this is the biggest day of their lives up to this point. The last thing you need to do is have a muscle cramp. You know what? If heaven forbid you're overhydrated, you could get dinged for this here.
So is this going to get cleared up then? Could it get
The only
cleared
problem
up?
is you don't know. It never will, and unfortunately, teams there's a certain risk of taking of drug, steroid, or drug abuse.
And Reuben Foster certainly had his problems.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help him. I'm going to give Jabril Peppers the benefit of the doubt more than I am Reuben Foster, because Peppers, for example, didn't get sent home from the combine for being a douche.
Yeah,
Foster did. Despite that, I believe it was NFL Live on Sunday was doing a back and forth mock draft, alternating picks between Mel Kiper and Tom McShay. They still have Reuben Foster going 5th overall. I don't think this is going to hurt him at all.
No? You think he's probably still top 10? What about, is Jabril Peppers going to get hurt by this, do you think?
No, Jabril Peppers is gonna get hurt by that super athlete. What the fuck are we gonna do with him?
Okay.
Because you know what, he's not gonna be a. I mean, if you can build your scheme around him being an in the box safety, much like Cam Chancellor is used in Seattle, cool. But if you're gonna ask him to play the traditional deep half ball hawk last line of defense thing, I'm sorry, I don't think he's going to succeed. Now, much like McCaffrey, he can do so many. He's going to be a threat in the return game, and he's going to be able to do other things for you that makes him a worthwhile, player to roster.
Mm-hmm.
But is he going to be the next great game-changing safety?
Probably not.
Probably not.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. Everybody have fun with the draft this Thursday. I know we will.
Please don't threaten to kill your executives of your NFL franchise because what the fuck? Why did they take another tight end in the first round? Ah!
Yeah, if the Lions do that, I don't know what I'll do.
Remember, people, if you put it on the internet, it's permanent. Don't let.
Yeah, exactly.
Just yell at your TV.
Yeah, just yell at the TV.
Don't write it down.
And don't throw anything at your TV either.
Yeah, TVs are expensive. I'm sure.
Exactly.
Especially if you're going to record your reaction on video, the insurance is not going to replace your TV.
But make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheMajorsTV, as well as on Twitter, twitter.com/TheMajorsTV. Also check us out on our website, themajors.net. So, until next time, that's Dorf. I'm Adam. Bye for now, everybody.